Welcome to Bygones Narrator. This is a quiet place where the past is not rushed and history is allowed to unfold slowly. There is nothing you need to remember and nothing you need to focus on. Simply listen and allow the distant world of medieval times to drift gently through your thoughts. Tonight, we step back into a time long before modern comfort. A world without electric light. Without machines. Without the constant noise of the present day. This is not the history of kings or great battles. It is the calm story of ordinary people. People who lived simple lives, guided by routine, belief, and the rhythm of nature. In medieval times, life moved slowly. There were no clocks ticking on walls. No screens glowing in the dark. Time was measured by sunlight, weather, and the ringing of church bells. Most people lived their entire lives in one place. They were born in a village, worked the surrounding land, and were buried not far from where they began. The world felt small, familiar, and deeply rooted. Comfort, as we know it today, did not exist. Yet life continued, quietly and steadily, one day at a time. A medieval day often began before sunrise. The first light of dawn would slowly creep across the fields and rooftops. Mist hung low over the ground. The air was cool and still. Families slept together in small spaces. Beds were simple, often filled with straw or dried grass. Blankets were coarse and heavy, but they provided warmth during cold nights. People woke naturally, without urgency. Some rose with the sun. Others stirred at the distant sound of bells calling the faithful to prayer. There was no rush. The day unfolded as it always had. Food in medieval times was plain and repetitive. Most meals looked the same from day to day. Dark bread, baked from rye or barley. Thin porridge, warmed slowly over a fire. Vegetables grown close to home, when the season allowed. Meat was rare for most people. It was saved for special occasions or religious holidays. For many, hunger was familiar, but accepted. Water was not always safe to drink. Rivers and wells could carry illness. Because of this, people often drank weak ale, even children. It was safer and part of daily life. Meals were quiet. There was little conversation. Food was valued, never wasted. Work defined medieval life. Not in a hurried way, but in a steady rhythm that repeated each day. Men worked the fields, guiding oxen through soil, planting seeds, and harvesting crops. Their movements were slow and practiced. Their bodies shaped by years of labor. Women worked constantly as well. They cooked, cleaned, fetched water, spun wool, wove cloth, and cared for children. Much of this work happened indoors, by firelight or sunlight through small windows. Children learned by watching. By the age of 7, many helped with simple tasks. Carrying water. Watching animals. Gathering wood. There was no clear line between work and life. Work was life. Medieval homes were small and dark. Walls were made of wood, mud, or stone. Roofs were thatched with straw. Inside, a single room often served many purposes. Cooking, sleeping, and working all happened in the same space. A fire burned in the center or along one wall. Its smoke drifted upward, sometimes filling the room before escaping through gaps in the roof. Furniture was minimal. A table. A bench. A few wooden chests. Yet these spaces felt familiar. They held warmth, routine, and memory. Religion shaped medieval thought deeply. Church bells marked the hours of the day. Prayer offered structure and comfort. Most people believed their lives were guided by forces beyond their control. God, fate, and nature all played a role in daily events. Illness was not understood scientifically. It was seen as a test or a lesson. Recovery brought gratitude. Loss brought quiet acceptance. Faith offered meaning in a difficult world. It helped people endure uncertainty. As the sun lowered, villages grew quiet. Work slowed. Animals were brought inside or secured. Candles were expensive, so they were used carefully. As darkness settled, families gathered close to the fire. Stories were sometimes told. Simple tales passed down through generations. But often, there was silence. Night carried uncertainty. Without light, the world beyond the door felt unknown. Doors were bolted. Fires dimmed. Sleep came early. Sleep was deep and natural. People rested when darkness fell and rose with the light. There were no distractions. No constant stimulation. Only the sound of wind, animals, and distant bells. Sleep was shared. Families rested close together for warmth and comfort. Dreams came easily. Rest was welcomed. Medieval life was not easy. It was marked by hardship, loss, and uncertainty. Yet people endured. They adapted. They found moments of peace in routine, faith, and family. Their lives may seem distant, but their experiences were deeply human. They hoped. They rested. They lived one quiet day at a time. As you rest now, let the world of medieval times slowly fade. The fields return to darkness. The bells grow distant. The fire settles into glowing embers. History does not need to be remembered tonight. It is enough that it was lived. Thank you for listening to Bygones Narrator. May your rest be peaceful. And may the past continue to speak softly.